Oh, so that's the qualifier that they
Once
have to
they
be
become
sentient.
sentient,
Future, past, or present?
could be past with a conjunction.
Well, so then how do you wait? How do you do this with fetuses then?
Yeah, so they don't have a past or present, do they?
I thought you said it could be any.
Well, if it's before 12 weeks, no. I didn't say any. I said conjunction, right, or present.
So what do you mean by conjunction then?
Conjunction means it could be the case of that they had sentience, they lost sentience, but they will in the future. Based on a previous sentience, that would be fine not to unalive them, right? That would be justified. To say that this person cannot have an abortion.
Okay, so woman wants abortion because the baby going to be black. You're still not addressing this.
Yeah, I'm not saying the thought in of itself can be immoral. You can think about immoral things, right, if you enact them. But I don't evaluate just thoughts themselves. I evaluate the action. So if she has an abortion, I don't care for the irrespective desire she has for why she's having an abortion, because there's something true of an abortion that makes it justified, independent from her thought process.
Are you going to answer what I asked you?
Yes, I did. What did I say?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, exactly. You have no idea.
I didn't really.
And say whether it's good or bad. I don't think thoughts themselves can necessarily be good or bad unless they're applied to actions that take place. So the action that's taken place is that she's had an abortion because it's black, right? I'm going to say it's permissible, independent from the thought process, because I don't care why she had the abortion.
That's an action, though, to have the abortion.
Yeah, I don't care why she had the abortion.
But you do care at the number of weeks that it's at.
Yeah, I care for the numbers of weeks because that's independent to why she's having the abortion.
Wait, how?
Yeah, because if she has an abortion solely because it's black, that's going to be independent from the act of 11 weeks abortion, the time frame. So the time frame's not the reason she's having the abortion.
So at 11 weeks, she can have the abortion because baby's going to be black. But at 12 weeks, she can't have it, in your opinion.
Yes, because it becomes sentient, not because it's black.
What's the special thing that happens in that 7-day period?
Sentience.
No, what's the special thing that happens?
What do you mean?
Sentience, you're saying. You're saying
Yeah, I just said that.
You're saying that babies become sentient within that 7 days later.
Yeah, I think it's this a majority of the cases right after the fact.
What's your source on this?
Can I squirt for you guys? Can I squirt for you guys?
Was that?
Can I squirt for you guys?
Oh my lord. Okay.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And the question I asked you. You were rolling off a lot of stuff off of the tongue. Now you went very quiet. Are you getting the PMID or what are you doing? So authentic. So now he runs away. I'm on the side that we ought not unalive babies.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think he's like.
Did authentic just run?
Yeah, I don't think he's running.
Why do you think that?
Wait, hold on. Did we ever answer Princess question of where the obligation comes from?
No, he didn't. But it's okay. He can't answer.
No, Russian, shut up. Russian,
You shut up.
No.
Yeah.
I don't
Look at
fucking have my
the
mod
abortion
knowledge.
people fighting each
Here, I'll
other.
give you a mod on here.
Okay, Hell, can you answer where the obligation comes from?
Obligation of what?
To sustain a pregnancy, through rape.
Oh, I don't believe in rights.
That's not what I
not answering the question.
No, I
though.
didn't.
Yeah, I would say that if it was me, I would actually use the full force of the government to stop people from doing that. I don't believe in rights.
Okay, one, I didn't mention a right.
The obligation comes from my, like you guys like to say, desires and preferences.
Terrible answer because it.
That's what you accepted it from him. Why can't I have the same answer? Why can't I have the same answer?
Hail. That's not an answer to the question. I didn't ask you. No, because listen and stop talking for a minute. Jesus. I asked you a question pertaining to an obligation, right?
Oh, okay,
I never said anything about rights.
It does say rights on the background right there.
That question really
in the
Why?
background.
Hold on.
It says,
Hale.
should women have the
Okay,
right?
no, that's not the question that I asked you. I asked you why the woman is obligated to sustain the pregnancy even if she didn't place the being into a state of dependency.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's
And your answer of saying I don't believe in rights is not an answer at all.
I'll give you an actual answer that I
Go
hold
ahead.
to without your background that has right but can't define right. I would say that they're image bearers of God, and we should value them.
So how do we determine whether or not something was made in the image of God?
Well, I think that all humans are.
Oh, so are you familiar with a partial molar pregnancy?
Are you talking about two sperms,
Yes, two
implanting the
sperms
cell?
inseminating one egg. The resulting offspring has a triploid chromosome that's 69 chromosomes. Yes. So if you're not going to answer that question and you're
I just gave you my answer.
No. You still didn't answer the question about the obligation. But if you're not going to answer that question,
I just gave you the answer. I said image bearer of God.
okay, I'll just ask you this, right? So all humans are made in the image of God. Okay, so a partial molar pregnancy was made in the image of God, right?
Right.
So you think a mother should be obligated to sustain this? Because it was made to sustain this? Because it was made in the image of God, right?
I don't think that that's a fetus.
It was made in the image of God. It's a human.
Is that a fetus?
It was yeah, it is. It was made in the image of God.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, hell. Okay, you're just saying it's made in the image of the God. Isn't some type of answer to what the obligation is going to be? Because you would say that if someone's like raping me, they're still made in the image of God, but I'm not like obligated to sustain the grape because he's made in the image of God.
No, you are obligated.
So I'm obligated to sustain grape.
Preferences.
Ew. Wait, I didn't mention any.
My desires and preferences.
This
Don't
guy
you
has the
remember?
most out of whack desires. So I guess this guy just has the most
Desires and
out of whack
preferences. Don't you
desires and
remember?
preferences.
Wait, April, I want you to be I want you to be like a genuine conversation because like I'm not infidel. Stop talking over me.
Marty, he didn't even
I
answer your
didn't
Look
have
at the 17-year-old talk.
Don't overtalk me. Okay, I'm not gonna let you do that.
I have a button.
Yeah. So, anyways, that doesn't tell me what obligation it comes from. Even with personal preferences, very simple question. Tell me what obligation a grape victim has to sustain a pregnancy. And that doesn't say the image of God because I don't have to sustain a grape. That's just absurd. And I don't think you really mean that. I think you're just disingenuous.
Yeah, I think that those people, well, I do mean that, and I think that those people are just as valuable, even if they were conceived by grape.
Okay, tell me what the obligation is to sustain it.
Yeah, the obligation would be image bearer of God.
Okay, so I have to sustain grape because they're the image bearer of God.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, hold on. So and
There's
then
plenty of people walking around that are grape victims.
So now let's talk about this, right? You also think mothers should be obligated to sustain the partial molar pregnancy because it was made in the image of God, right?
Yeah, like if it's actually going to result in like an actual baby. Yeah, for sure.
If it's actually going to result in an actual baby, that doesn't mean anything. You just said all humans. This is a human. You didn't say anything about all humans that can actually turn into an actual baby.
That's what I just told you.
All human. No, Hale, you just said all humans. You said nothing about turning into an actual baby. Whatever the hell that even means.
I think that we should preserve life.
So we should force mothers to sustain the partial molar pregnancy.
Yeah, you would hold this in many circumstances.
Because it was made in the image of God, mothers should be obligated to sustain this massive.
If it's going to result in life. If it's going
it is alive. It's alive, right?
Is it going to result in life?
It's alive right now. This is a result. It's resulting in life, right? It was conceived by two humans, and it's human and it's alive, right? This is a life.
Right.
Growing and sustain
right.
this?
Yeah, and because you're
all right, well then that's the reductio on your view, okay? That you think mothers should be obligated to sustain the partial molar pregnancy because this was made in the image of God. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's
something to do with God.
I think it's disgusting that you say
sicko. And I kicked you because I reductioed you. You have absolutely no response to it. You keep saying, if it's going to turn into an actual baby, which nobody knows what you mean by that. I don't even think you know what you mean by that. And you just said all humans are made in the image of God. Therefore, mothers should be obligated to sustain the partial molar pregnancy because it was made in the image of God. So you can go around and say picked you for a good reason because you sat up here, said a bunch of stupid things, and then died or unalived on the hill that mothers should be obligated to sustain grape babies and that they should be obligated to sustain the partial molar pregnancy because it was made in the image of God.
Yeah, it has something to do with God. It has something to do with God. Like atheists can be pro-life, so.
You know what? He's the one who brought up God, not me. So
Exactly, yeah. He's just rumbling nonsense.
yes.